Things occur as He ordains and wills them. His will is always carried out. There is no will for His servants except for what He wills for them. Whatever He wills for them happens, and whatever He does not will for them does not happen. Allah Azza wa Jal has stated, you do not will except as Allah wills, for Allah is knowing, wise. We spoke about the will of Allah Azza wa Jal and the will of the creation, and the will of the creation can't be applied except by the will of Allah Azza wa Jal. How can something happen in His kingdom that He does not will? We can't imagine that. Something will happen without His will. Those who ascribe partners to Allah will say, if Allah had willed, we would not have ascribed partners to Him, nor would our fathers did so. And this is an argument that people who say it's preordained that we will ascribe partners to Allah Azza wa Jal. And there was a funny thing that one of those people who say, when he was asked, why did you commit the sin? Well, Allah preordained that I commit the sin. So that person wanted to teach him a lesson. So he came to him and he slapped him. And he said to him, why did you slap me? He said, Allah preordained that I slap you. That's the same concept. Do you know what has been preordained on you? No. So you are supposed to work towards the good. And you cannot come and say, Allah preordained on me to do the sin. Allah preordained on me to partner with Him, like what these people are trying to claim, that Allah preordained on them to be mushrikeen, to be disbelievers. No. It's their choice. Nobody forced them in their life. They chose by their own. But when they chose, Allah knew what they are going to choose. And Allah willed for their will to be applied. So they willed to disbelieve. Allah with His will allowed that, and He wrote it before the creation, 50,000 years before the creation of the earth, heavens and the earth, that was written. Allah condemned them because they thought that His creative will, Mashiach, implies His pleasure and love for the acts. So these people thought that His will is only for what He loves, for what Allah Azza wa Jalla loves. No, His will is for what He loves and what He hates. He ordains, He ordered us to do the good, but He ordained whatever we will, whether it's good or bad. They were actually saying, if He disliked that act and was angered by it, why did He will it? These people, they were arguing. So they take His creative will as evidence for His approval. Allah refutes them on this point. So they were arguing that Allah did not will for that to happen. Allah was not happy for that to happen. Why did He order it to happen? That's why some people take it on the other side. If they are successful in their life, wealthy, rich, if Allah was not happy from me, why would He give me money? That's a proof that Allah is happy from me, because He is making me rich, sustaining me, making my life easy. There's no relationship. Allah's will is after our will. We will to do this business, Allah will for you. Whether this business, Allah likes it or does not like it, it's His wisdom that He approved for you will to happen. And so the person richness, the person poorness has no relationship with Allah's pleasure. Some people argue from the hadith which mentions that Musa charged Adam with bringing mankind out of paradise. So Musa alayhi salam argued with Adam alayhi salam in the heavens and said to him, you are the reason for bringing out all mankind from heaven. And Adam replied the charge by saying, do you blame me for a thing that Allah had ordained for me 40 years before I was created. After relating their discussion, the Prophet ﷺ commented that Adam defeated Musa in his argument. So Allah preordained, and preordained for a wisdom that this happened. So in our life, there are things that happen to us that has been preordained out of a test for us. In our life, things that Allah will for it to happen in our life because He wants to see our reaction. He will force on us things to happen, like an accident, sickness, loss of a life, something that is hard on us. Why did He ordain on us that to happen? It's part of the test. And He will leave for us to choose in our life to be on the straight path or to deviate. And He will for our will to happen. So we have the choice on the straight path or to be deviated. So we choose with our free will. Nobody is going to force us. But our free will is not going to be applied except if the will of Allah Azza wa Jal allow it to happen. And based on His eternal knowledge, He knew what we will be doing, what we will be deciding, what we will choose, and His will. So He wrote down all of this. So this is preordained. Preordained not out of force, but preordained out of testing or preordained out of knowledge. Some things are testing out of our control, and some things are preordained out of His knowledge of what we are going to choose. The thing for which Moses blamed Adam was the affliction that mankind faced in being removed from paradise. Adam countered this charge by saying that the affliction had already been ordained. Thus he argued according to predestination, not concerning the sin he committed, but concerning the affliction that was the result of the sin. So that's how Adam alayhi salam argued about that with Musa. Wahab ibn Munabilj said, I contemplated Qadr and became confused and lost. Again, I contemplated Qadr and became confused and lost. Then I discovered that the people who understand Qadr best are those who do not discuss it. And the people most ignorant of Qadr are those who talk about it. So the Qadr is something, if you dig deep, you will be confused. So don't talk about the details of the details, otherwise you will be confused. I learned Aqidah from a scholar that he told me personally. I digged in Qadr and I reached the edge. Then I said no. I returned back and I said I submit. Because the moment you start thinking with your brain about Qadr, you will definitely go off. I heard about one Aqidah scholar who was teaching Aqidah in one of the universities of Saudi Arabia. He went atheist. And this is recent. He just left Islam and went atheist in Saudi Arabia teaching Aqidah. Straight away when I read the news, I said definitely he digged in Qadr. So he touched the high voltage wire. He could not comprehend Qadr. Then he went off. So it is something, sometimes people will say, this is unfair. You cannot say unfair. Allah is the all just. Allah is fair. He ordained on us things out of a test. He left for us the choice, but He knew with His knowledge, His eternal knowledge, what we will choose. So He wrote it down.